Hello and welcome to episode 18. My name is Anne and this little bundle of fluff is Toby. Say hello, Toby. Hello everybody, my name's Toby and I like to chew paper. Toby and I live with my husband in a little village called Marrickville, which is just outside Ottawa, Ontario in Canada, where it is super cold today. Go see Daddy, Tobe. My husband's home today, so he'll keep him occupied. So yes, I do have some notes to remind myself, because you know, you turn 60 and you kind of forget everything. So I am now retired and living the crafty life. I like to knit, crochet, scrapbook, journal, plan. Oh, I love planners. Cook, bake, mostly baking. Cleaning, nah, not so much. And I used to do a lot of card making, but I've kind of got bored with that. And this channel used to have a lot of card making things on, but I took them all off and I'm sort of really concentrating more on my knitting and bag making and stuff. If you do still want to see some card making or scrapbook videos, comment below and I don't mind adding a few, but I think this is primarily going to be a Tobyknits channel now. If I knew how to change the name of it, I would, but I don't. So there you go. So if you are new, thanks for coming by. This is mostly about knitting and my yarny adventures, and there are quite a few. And so if you're a returning viewer, yay! Thanks for coming back. Grab your cup of tea, comfy chair, and your knitting if you feel like it, and sit down and have a listen. You can find me on Instagram as Tobyknits. I have a Facebook page called Tobyknits. And on Ravelry, I am Brithockeymum. And I do keep that updated with all my latest knitting whips and finished objects. I would change that to Tobyknits, but somebody else already has that. So I'll have to stay Brithockeymum, which is just fine by me. Today's podcast, I have one finished object, a few whips, and some new cast-ons. So, we'll get into the finished object, which I have worn several times, and they need to be washed, so bear that in mind. But these are my first ever toe-up pair of socks that I have made. And I used yarn that I got the Christmas before at a Christmas fair I went to in the village here. And this is Bear Street Yarns yarn. And it is lovely. It's a fingering weight. And I just love the colors. Look at that lovely plummy color. And then it was called Christmas Lights, I think, and I just loved this. I thought it was lovely. Unfortunately, they're not dyeing anymore, but I think they might still have some colors available in their shop. So, lessons learned from my first ever pair of toe-ups. I really enjoyed the toe-up part, got the hang of that. Struggled a little bit with the make one left, make one right. Only because I don't know what difference between my left and right. So that was always a little bit difficult. And then I watched this video by Ellie Jones of Craft House Magic, and oh my gosh, the way she explained the left and the right totally went into I got it right off the bat, totally understood it. So yeah, I'm trying another pair of toe-ups now to show them later. But that really helped. Thanks, Ellie. That really helped a lot. Anyway, and then of course, just the plain knitting part is fine. Then I got to the heel, and yeah, that didn't go as well as I'd hoped. There was this whole mini gusset thing, and then the German short rows, which again, I didn't really understand. So thank God Ellie Jones was there to the rescue because I understood hers. And actually, I think I watched about 3 or 4 different people's take on it. I'm still not really sure I got it right, but anyway, managed. And then I didn't do a big leg because I like short-ish, like 4-inch legs. I don't like the ones that go all the way up your shin. And then of course there's the regular knit one, purl one, rib. Now, here again is where I learned something, because I actually read the pattern on the first one, and it said to do, I think it's Jenny's stretchy bind off or something, and that was the first time I'd ever done a stretchy bind off. And the second one, of course, I forgot about the Jenny's stretchy bind off thing, and just because I was motoring away on the second sock, and just wanted to get them finished to wear them, and I didn't do the stretchy bind off. So consequently, when I try to put this sock on, I have an awful time getting it over my ankle and everything else. So lesson learned, when you're doing toe up, always do a stretchy bind off. But these are nice. I like these socks very much, and they're colourful and cheerful, and I like them. So that was my first finished object of 2020, and naturally it was a pair of socks. Last year was the year of the sock for me, and this year I'm still going to do socks because, oh, I love them so much. But this year I feel like it's going to be, I'm going to say sorry about that. Usually they're way worse than that. So that was a tame one. Anyway, this year will be a different year of, which will become abundantly obvious in a little while. So, let's see, what am I working on currently? So, as I did mention, I do have in my Tobyknits bag, this is the Netherwood, and all my bags are named after my family. So Netherwood was my maiden name. So this was the first bag I made, so this is the Nether bag. And it will come in several different fabrics and colors and patterns, because I kind of like all these crazy little patterns. And this is a camping one because I love camping. So yeah, this is my Netherwood bag. And so in here currently is my new toe-up socks. Now, I have a glorious, I don't know if you can see it all there, let me move my chair, array of yarn that I have collected over the past 12 months. Mostly from sock clubs that I had joined and never got around to doing. And the rest are just, you know, stuff I had to have. So I have decided to try to use up some stash this year. Not all the time, but while I can. You know, some of the yarn that I used was lovely, and especially when you're making socks, you don't always fully finish 100 grams, especially if you're doing coordinating heels, toes, and cuffs. So I'm trying to think of different ways to use up those leftover kind of minis. And this was what I had left over from a pair of socks I made my dad last year, which were the Croy sock yarn. And this was, I think I got 2 balls of that, because I think, yeah, and this was what's left from both the balls. And so what I decided to do was to cast on a leftover brown and do the coordinating heel and toe in this brown, and then start striping with the Croy's yarn. I don't know what it was. Oh yeah, do I have it in here? Yeah, it was the Croy sock, and this one was called Blue Brown Marl. So this was the Blue Brown Marl, and I believe, and obviously it's a striping, sort of self-striping thing. And so, as is now my newest craze, I'm doing two at the same time, but not on the same needle. That I shall learn this year. These are just on two different 2.25. These are Chow Go, and these are High. And they're both Sharpies, so they're kind of good for sock knitting and small knitting. So my plan was to try to do the same amount each day. Well, yesterday I did this from the little gray stripe up, but then I didn't on this one. I started, because you can see the gray stripe, but I was busy working on bags yesterday, so I didn't get a lot of knitting time in during the day. So anyway, these are my toe-ups. And again, thank you to Ellie for explaining to me the left and right. These came out way nicer and totally more understandable. And I cast on 12, and I am doing a 60 stitch sock. So once you get up to 30 on each needle, then you just straight knit until actually, what I might do with these, I was thinking of doing the Fish Lips Kiss heel, but because I actually don't know how far these two little balls of yarn will go, I then decided I'm just going to knit straight up, just a tube, until this yarn is all gone, and then I am going to do an afterthought heel, because of course the afterthought heel will be in the brown and the cuff will be in the brown, so I might end up with a large cuff depending on how much of this yarn I've got. So it's kind of a cool test to see how far you can go with leftover yarn. So there we go, that is that whip in progress currently, and I cast that on, gosh, maybe the 6th or 7th of January? No, actually no, it's only been about 4 or 5 days ago. Anyway, forget. And then in my Bradshaw bag, which is this one, it's a drawstring quilted bottom base, and I quilt the bottoms myself. I don't buy it pre-quilted. And this one is the Bradshaw, which is what I would call a shawl. That's more the Nether one is more a sock bag and small project, and the Bradshaw is more a you can see the difference, is more shawls. That's what I keep in this one. And the Bradshaw was my grandmother's maiden name, so kind of cool. So in here I have, Toby, are we playing ball? Is that what's going on? You're playing ball now? What's happened to the ball? There's no squeak. So we bought him a new ball, and the first night we were watching TV that he had the ball, I thought the ball and the dog were going to get chucked out the window because it squeaked and squeaked, and he squeaked it and squeaked it, and he loves the squeaking noise, and I don't know, he must have this kind of jaw that it really, you can't do it with a hand. Anyway, it squeaks non-stop, and kind of annoying when you're watching a movie, but anyway, that's fine. He squeaked it so much and slobbered and drooled into this little ball that now there's no squeak. Which is wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Hey Job, where's your squeaky ball gone? What'd you do with it? So, yes, I was very pleased with that there's no longer a squeak. And But once it dries up, the squeak does come back. So while there's no squeak, we really enjoy it. And so onto my knitting. What I am doing now is, as you all know, I got... Oh, you're bringing me the ball to show me. Okay, let's show everybody your ball. All right, shall we show everybody your ball? Come here. Let's show everybody your ball. So, this is the new squeak ball. As you can see, there's no squeak. Would you like it? Would you like your ball? Okay, you get down there and you go play with your ball then, because I'm not. Daddy might play with it. Oh, I'm in the middle of a row, so this might be hard to show you. I got over Christmas some fabulous Advent yarn from Legacy Fibre Artz. And Chelsea and Sue. Sue is the mom, Chelsea's the daughter, who's also a mom. So Sue is a grandmother. Yeah. They have a really great podcast if you want to watch them. I love watching them. They're a lot of fun. They actually live in 2 different places, but when they podcast, I don't know how they do it. They put the podcast together kind of somehow, so you see them both at the same time. And it's a lot of fun when they're actually visiting each other, because then you get to see them both side by side. So they had this fabulous Advent yarn, and this is it all kind of rolled up. Whoa! I have it in order, so I'm trying not to. And so I'm very excited for this yarn. 2 reasons. So, for example, this is what's left of, because at the beginning you don't use a lot of a thing. So I'm going to, anyway, I'll tell you about that in a minute. I'm going to do something else with the leftover. I have a plan. But I'm halfway. So you use 13 skeins, and the shawl I'm making, shawl, is a OBrien Shawl. So check her out. She's got some lovely stuff. Mostly Advent things, shawls mostly, cowls, stuff like that. And this is called the ADVENTurous Wrap. And so it's more like a big long thing. You do 2 triangles and then you put them together. So the first triangle uses up, I'm going to show you this way. The first triangle uses up the 13 balls, and then the second one uses the rest. So it started with these little colors, which are divine. Then it went into purple. Now I hope you can see that that is actually purple and not blue. Then it went into blue. Then it went into a green. Then it went into a bluey purple green. Then it went into, oh, now it's in a mess. Then it went into this green, and now we're in a peachy color. And each of the colors fade into each other, and it's the actual way the pattern is written that you get the fade. And I am using my little elephant stitch marker to see at what point I am at. So I have about 3 or 4 more rows to go, and it's quite big now. I'm halfway through a row, that's why it's the way it looks. But it is going to be absolutely beautiful. I cannot wait. And so currently I am, this is the peach that I'm working on, which is day 13. And then I'm now using day 1 with it to do the last 6 rows. So you do 2 rows of peach, 2 rows of white, 2 rows of peach. And then I have to cast off half of the stitches and leave them the rest on the needle. So before I start the next triangle. And because I want to do, there are different ways to do it. You can just then start with day 14 and carry on up the, 14, 15 and so on till you get to the end, which I thought about doing, but I wanted the fade. Because the way Sue dyed this yarn, she did it purposely as a fade. So, I think the squeak is back. Do you hear that? He's underneath in his bed. Sorry about that. So the way she does it is a fade. So I think I'm going to do the fade, which means instead of starting with number 14, I have to start with 25 and work backwards. So that when you butt the two up together, it will be 13, 14. So anyway, that'll be kind of cool. I'm really enjoying knitting it. It's a super easy pattern by Amber, and she has this, you can just follow the printout. Thank you, Toby, over there. Thank you. Oh, you better go find it. You can, she has a printout that you can do, which is literally row by row, and it tells you the color. I mean, you don't have to really follow the pattern, because once you understand the pattern, it's the same pattern, 2-row repeat. But it's the color sequence. So that's what I've been following, and it's really a nice pattern to do. So so that's my works in progress. I still haven't done much with the blanket, the baby blanket. Actually, I'm going to get this out and start working on this again. This again is in another Bradshaw bag. This has chickens. And so this is my baby blanket that I am doing. I don't want the stuff to come off the needle. I'm sure you've seen this a million times. And of course now I have all these different colors. So that's kind of why I've been putting off doing it, because it's I think it's called Intarsia, I think, where you carry the yarn in little pieces across the top here, like little, so there's lots of little balls of wool, and I have a difficult time when when you pull them out. You can see there they look kind of nice, they're all in a row, but if you look in my bag, they're all tangled up and in a friggin' mess. So, and that, I don't really do well with that. So I try to keep it in the bag and not look at it. But this is the blanket. It is for my grandson, who is due in April. And it has got hippos at the bottom. It's called the Hippo Blanket. The hippos will have to be finished with like tails and eyes and all that kind of stuff. And then it's mostly stripes in the middle, a hippo at the bottom, 3 hippos at the bottom, and then there's 3 hippos at the top, which are reverse color. So I'm probably going to start trying to finish that off, because April will be here before we know it, and I need to get a few more little baby things on the go. So I'll have to leave this bag out so I can remember it, because when it's in my craft room and not beside me on the chair, I forget about it. So let's see. Did my bingo thing print? No. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Let me think. So I'm going to tell you now what my 2020 knitting will look like. One of the things I did last year, but towards the end of last year, so I didn't really get much of a chance to play, was Erin from Bling Your String. I'll link her video below. She does this thing every year called a bingo. And I don't even have last year's to show you. I wonder why I didn't print. I thought I printed it yesterday. Anyway, I'll find it on my phone, because I think it's on here. I think. And you can see it in my Ravelry page. I started a project page for it. And what it is you make up, let me pull the picture up. She sends you this bingo card. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah. And I don't know if it's backwards, but it just gives you an idea of what it is. So it's a bingo card, and in each of the squares you write down the projects you want to do for the year. And then as you're as you've done one, as you finished a project, so like there's my adventurous wrap here. Oh, I don't know if is it? Never mind. It's not focusing. But once I've done that, then I put a blob or a bingo dabber or a smiley face or something. That didn't look like a smiley face, did it? That was my dabber. Onto your page, and she gets a copy of it. And once you've got, I think, so many, I don't know if you get a prize if you've got a line or whatever, but I just thought it was a great way. I'm totally visual, so I like to see things, and because A, it helps me remember, and B, it's a nice goal to work towards. So I really liked this idea, so I'm playing it again this year, and of course this year I'm doing it from January, which sure beats the hell out of starting it in September. So on it here are a bunch of the things that I want to do. I want to do the Adventurous Wrap, which I hope to finish, the Round the Corner Shawl, the Eclutana Lakeside Shawl, and a Lion Brand Easy Shape Shawl. I've just ordered some yarn, which is a shawl in a ball, basically is what it's called. And I think there's a fade to it, not sure. Or there's like 2 or 3 colors to it, but it's a really, and of course it comes with a free pattern. So, so those are the 4 shawls I want to make this year, at least minimum, because this is the year of the shawl, in case you hadn't figured that one out yet. A lot of people thought it would be the year of the baby, but I think next year might be that, because the first year they're growing so quickly out of things that I don't really want to put all that time and effort into knitting little baby things that they can only wear once or twice. So when he's a bit older, he'll get lots of baby things, or lots of things, knitted things. But anyway, so this year is going to be the year of the shawl. And of course there'll be lots of socks going on. I also want to do more blankets. I have to finish my trailer blanket, which is in a bag down there still. And I want to start this, it's called a Stitch in Time blanket, and it is by Kay Jones of the Bakery Bears, so I will link that too. And it's basically mitered squares, and there's either 4 or 9. I think I'm going to do 4, and then you border them with the garter stitch and you put them all together to make a big blanket. So I'm really going, that's what I'm going to use the leftover yarn with. So you only need 5 grams, which is probably this. This is probably, so here's a regular size, 20 gram, and I think that's about 5 grams. That's what was left over from one of the, that was day 10. Yeah. Anyway, so there are, and then these, which are way bigger, that's probably 10 grams. So I plan to use that to do the mitered square for the Stitch in Time blanket, and then what's left after that, which will probably be 5 grams, yeah, because 10 minus 5 is 5. Oh, that's math. I'm going to start a granny striped blanket, and I'm going to make a magic knot ball, which I will show you at some point how to do that. and you just literally wrap all your ends up, or your little bits, in this big warm ball, and then you just knit the ball, and the colors just appear as they appear on the granny stripe, that is. Yes, so I want to make one of them. And oh, there was another shawl called Lilac in the Wind that I really like the look of. I need to make another flax sweater. This one is for Bob, my husband, who really liked the previous one that I made for myself, but he needs it longer in the arms. And I want to make, oh, the Comfort Fade cardigan by Andrea Mowry. I think it's by Andrea Mowry. Yes. I really want to make one of those this year, so I think that will be lovely. If I'm clever enough, I will have put a picture so that you can see what I'm talking about. And I also have just ordered for my grandson-to-be. Susan B. Anderson makes the most delightful animals, and so this one is called Christopher Bunny. And I'm very excited to start that. And the reason I'm very excited to start that, because most animals that you make, knitted animals, toys, you make them in pieces and then you stick them all together. Well, you don't stick them, you sew them together. This particular bunny is one piece. So that is baffling my mind. I mean, the bunny ears, the arms, the legs, but it's all one piece. So I'm very interested to see how that's going to knit up. It was a kit, so it comes with the yarn. So I've ordered that. And it also, you also get enough yarn to make a sweater and a pair of pants for this bunny rabbit. So anyway, that's another fun thing I want to make. And what else is on my list here? Socks. Oh, the perfect newborn socks. Yes, I want to do some of them. And, oh, mittens. I feel like doing some mittens. I haven't done mittens. I found an old pair that I crocheted a couple of weeks ago when the weather turned rubbish here and you needed something on your hands. And I've been wearing them instead of like store-bought gloves. And they are so nice and warm mittens. They really are. And so I've decided I want to make a pair, knit a pair. Now, Galt House Yarn had a really nice mitten kit, and it was like a striped concern of 3 colors, and it kind of reminded me of Hudson Bay, the colors from Hudson Bay. So I might get that kit and try those mittens, because then once you've done it, and you can use your leftovers to do that with too. So anyway, that is that. So that is my plans for 2020. Oh, of course, I am going to open an Etsy store, and I'm hoping to open it this month. I haven't set a date yet, but it will be probably towards the end of the month. I have a couple of bags that I have made. This is one I made yesterday, and all my bags have zippers. This is a Netherwood bag. They're all lined, and they all have a pocket inside. And so this is one I did yesterday. I have one of these. I love it. This was another one that I made yesterday. I thought this one was super cute. Look at the little doggies. And then this one I made last week. Oh, got a little bit of fluff on that one. And this is and this just has a plain lining in this one. And this one is also another one I made last week. So, and that one also has a plain lining. Oh, I didn't show you the lining in the little doggy ones, because this is look, little bones. I get so much fun matching and picking all the different fabrics to make them. Anyway, so that's just a few. I have, I don't know, 4 or 5 more somewhere. Ready to go in the shop, and so yeah, and I've got a couple of Bradshaw bags ready for the shop, and some stitch holders. I made some coordinating little stitch holders that you can use to put all your bits and bobs in. The only last thing I have to show you is Ellie Jones from Craft House Magic is doing a shawl along that I think I might join in. and it's the Round the Corner Shawl by Lisa Haynes. It's a purchase pattern, so you can look that up on Ravelry. It's a very nice pattern. It looks like this. And it uses 2 colors of yarn in a fingering weight, and I have decided to use this green, this lovely green called Garland. It is a Uri yarn scoot sock fingering weight, and to coordinate this really cute electricity kind of a green. So I thought that would make a really nice, I don't have a green shawl, so I thought this would be, I have blue, I have purple, because of course purple is my favorite color, but I don't have a green one, so I thought these 2 colors together would look super nice. So that I'm hoping to start soon in the shawl along. So that's about all. I have nothing new in the way of yarn to show you. Lots coming. So I'm excited to show you what's coming. But that's about all I have for now. So I hope you have enjoyed today's video. Please give me a thumbs up. Drop me some lovely notes of kindness below. And welcome again to all my new subscribers and new viewers. I'm thrilled to have you along. And let's see if 2020 will be a very knitty year. Bye for now.